Welcome to Pat's Stats. Today on Pat's Stats, we are this episode is the first of 6 uniform reviews. So, what exactly is a uniform review? Well, a uniform review is just me reviewing the uniforms worn by each team in Major League Baseball in the 2020 season. So what could a uniform review look like for each team? It could be like what uniforms they wear, how often they wear it, when they wear a certain uniform on specific days of the week, and things like that. I'll also give you statistics for some uniforms and how often that team wears it. So a couple of guidelines for the entire series of the uniform review is that the main one for this year, since the season was only 60 games, is that a lot of what I'm going to say is if they were on a pace to wear this uniform a certain amount of times. Because obviously the numbers won't add up. If a team wears say a blue uniform 10 times, well, I mean, in a 162 game season, 10 times is not a lot, but in a 60 game season, it kind of is. So I multiply that by 2.7 to get the actual ratio. And for the rest, you'll see as we get going. So let's start with the first team, the Orioles. So you see here their full uniform lineup. They have their home white and their road gray, and then 2 alternate uniforms, a black uniform and an orange uniform, and each can be worn on home and on the road. The only difference is that the orange uniform at home is worn with this white cap, and the one on the road is worn with the cap with the bird on it. The black uniforms are both worn with the hat with the word O's. So the Orioles have a schedule that they wear the uniforms for. Blacks on Fridays, home and away, and orange on Saturdays, home and away. The white and the grays are worn on the other days. And for the most part, they followed this schedule throughout the 2020 season. The only time they didn't was opening weekend, where they wore their black uniform at Fenway Park, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Jackie Robinson Day weekend, where they wore the black uniform all 3 days. A note on Jackie Robinson Day weekend, as I noticed that teams only got to wear 42 on the back of their uniforms, but they only got to do it with one uniform. So a team like the Orioles, who would wear black on Friday, orange on Saturday, and then gray on Sunday, could only wear one uniform. And most teams chose the uniform they wore on the Friday. So for the Orioles, it was the black, and they wore it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kind of an interesting note there. Next team is the Boston Red Sox, and they have 4 uniforms. You have your white, gray, red, and navy blue. They do have a schedule, at least they used to. The red used to be worn on home Fridays, and the navy used to be worn on road Fridays. They've kind of gotten away from the schedule a little bit over the past couple of years, and kind of even more this year. The white uniform they wore on opening day, Friday, August 7th, and September 18th, when they should have worn the red. And then they wore the red in a couple different spots they shouldn't have, including Sunday, August 9th, not a Friday, and Jackie Robinson Day weekend. You're going to see that theme a lot. And then the Navy, they wore a bunch of times. Their first 4 away games, they wore the Navy uniform, and then they kind of got away from it and just started wearing them on random days. So that's probably the last time they're going to have a schedule. I would expect that schedule just to go completely out the door next year, unless they really want to stick firm to that schedule. Third out of the 5 AL East teams are the New York Yankees, who obviously don't have any alternate uniforms. They have their pinstripes and their gray uniforms. So in the regular season, obviously they wore the pinstripes at home and the gray on the road. The only note is that the Yankees, among other teams playing a lot of doubleheaders at different stadiums, in the regular season, they wore their gray uniform even if it was technically their home game, if they were playing it at a different stadium. I know they played in Citizens Bank Park, a home game, and they still wore the gray uniform. In the postseason, however, their uniforms matched the games, because they played at Petco Park, and they wore their pinstripes for the 2 home games they had in that series versus the Rays. I thought it would actually look very weird. I wasn't that bothered by it. So, I mean, not much to talk about with the Yankees uniforms. Then you have the AL champion Tampa Bay Rays, who have 5 possible uniform combinations. You have white and gray, like every team. Then 2 navies, one at home and one on the road. and then the teal uniform they wear at home only. And the only one they have a schedule for is the teal, which they wear on home Sundays. They wore the home Navy uniform, this one, 15 times in 2020. That would be a 40-game pace, which is a 67% increase from 2019. The road Navy was worn for 21 games, which is a 56-game pace, which is a 28% increase from 2019. In the Wild Card Series, they wore their home Navy uniform both times. In the Division Series, whether they were home or on the road, they wore their Navy uniform all 5 times. In the ALCS, their first game was a Sunday, so that's why they wore the teal. And then throughout the rest of that series, they wore the Navy 5 other times, then the home white once. And the World Series, they wore their road Navy uniform once, their white uniform once, their gray uniform twice, and their home Navy once, and their teal uniform on the Sunday game. So yeah, they pretty much followed a good schedule with the teal and balance it out with the Navy and the primary uniforms. And that leads us to our last team, the Toronto Blue Jays, and they have technically 7 different uniform combinations. A lot of that is thanks to the fact that they have this alternate cap that they can wear with the white and the blue uniform at home. So this home blue uniform, they wore 11 times in 2020 for a 29-game pace, which is a 6% decrease from 2019. Their road blue uniform over here was worn 8 games, which is a 21-game pace, a 4% decrease from 2019. So they pretty much wore their 2 blue uniforms the same amount of times, what would have been the same amount of times as in 2020 as 2019. Then you have the home white with this white cap. They wore 4 games for a 10-game pace in 2020, which is a 100% decrease from 2019. They did that 20 times last year. And then you have the home blue with the white cap. They did not wear that combo once this year. I wonder if that's just because they ran out of time or if they really just don't want to wear that uniform combo. They also got that new powder blue uniform this year, which they wore at home 7 times and on the road 9 times for a total of 16 times home and road. And in the postseason, they wore their road blue and their road powder 1 time each. So that'll do it for the first uniform review of 6. Today we did the AL East. Next time will be the AL Central. If you have any comments regarding this video, you can put it in the comments section below this video. And if you have any comments about the YouTube channel Pat Stats, leave them in the Pat Stats section called Community. Thank you for watching.